I'm a bit before we go into detailed conversation about trauma. I'm a bit intrigued by this experience you had, where you, yeah, in a psychosynthesis context, we would say that you had an approach where you really had a longing for the superconscious and trying to reach the superconscious and opening up to spiritual dimension, expanding your consciousness. And for some reason, uh, that was not enough. There was some kind of yeah, you said there was a lack of vitality, and in some way, I had the same experience. A big turnaround. I think also it was 15 years ago, or perhaps only 10 years ago, where I had had a lot of trans transpersonal experience and also transcending experiences
Mm.
where I truly experienced myself as pure light and pure love, and it was just extremely, ecstatic and also liberating. But I always came to the conclusion that I was not able to embody it. I was not able to really live that energy. There was such a gap, or you could call it a distance between these height experiences and my ability to express it in my daily life. So I realized that I actually had to, in some way, return to the contractions within my subconscious,
Yeah.
because it was almost like there was some kind of I was stuck in the lower levels. I was There was something the light could not penetrate. After I had an experience of being pure love, the opposite came up, hate or aggression, or because the subconscious level have so many hidden unconscious layers that has not been purified.
Yes.
So I would say that most of my work today is also addressing shadows, going into shadow, working with these limitations in my, yeah, both in my body and my in psychosensory we would call it in the lower unconscious. But of course, I still have a meditation practice and seeking to clear the channel and have an open. But it's all about being able to bring it through, and this is where the trauma work becomes such an important aspect of the spiritual work, because there's still a spiritual perspective and also yeah, a meditative work, but it's all about bringing the light and the love and the power into these inhibitions. Is that also how you experience where you are today?
Yes, it is, and I could say my old teacher and also boss, and the old way of work, where on the institution where I was teaching, has this very beautiful, also a true way of working. In Roberto Assagioli's words, he would be, or we would be working with subpersonalities,
Exactly.
and we would embody a subpersonality and feel it from the inside and try to look from the eyes of this subpersonality, and then we would step back from it and witness how it was.
Yes.
And the whole idea of that work I was doing for so many years was,
Yes.
was like a meditation, trying to realize that I was not the different parts of the
Mm,
personality, but that I was as a subject, like pure consciousness or
mm,
formless awareness, and realize this: you are not either this or that, but
mm,
you are the one who was able to witness it all, and in that sense, formless or shapeless, clear being or
mm.
consciousness, something like that.
Exactly.
That
Yes.
was the praxis, and I was engaging in this praxis for years and years and years. And the idea was to realize I am the witness, I am the one that is in which all of these different
Mm.
aspects is arising.
Mm.
And but
Yes. Now the buts.
yes, the new way or the other way of looking to the subpersonalities is a more healing oriented approach, where
Mm.
we see, okay, they are actually having functions, and
Yes.
some subpersonalities are like exiled by
Yes.
other personalities. They are actually working around in small clusters,
Exactly.
and they are trying to exile other sub personalities,
Yes.
and especially the ones who is carrying the most suffering, who's
Mm.
most in distress. Numerous other sub-personalities are working together in blocking off, blurring, distancing, dissociating, comforting, doing a lot of different functions, trying to wall off or exile these fragments of personalities
Yeah.
carrying the distress and the trauma.
Yeah.
So this is a different. Engages the subject in a different way, because then looking into myself or guiding a client to look into him or herself is about trying to see what appears, and in a way negotiating with the self-protective sub-personalities for trust,
Yes.
to see how can I be trustworthy enough
Mm.
to again being able to relate to the distressed parts of the personality. How can I get the trust of the self-protective system to
Mm.
be able to bring connection, love, clarity, and awareness to the parts that are being exiled.
Yeah.
And
But was the old approach to subpersonality work, was that not engaging these exiles? Or what is the new
it lacked
understand?
it lacked the understanding of how the personality was working.
Ah,
It
okay.
it it didn't care if it was an adapted child or an inner critic or a judge or a traumatized part of the personality. The
Mm.
only interest was to associate and dissociate, and to go in and out, and then
Yes,
realize that you were the witness. It it
yes.
it was it's like when you're meditating, and the suffering is presenting itself in your span of awareness or field of awareness, and you notice the suffering and look at it and say, okay, and
Mm.
return to your breathing.
Mm.
If you were parenting your children the same way, th they would make a lot of trouble. I've tried to do this with the hangover, and
This is a very good point.
it didn't work. They were all around the house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
Exactly.
they need your attention. They
Yeah,
need to be engaged. They need
yes,
to feel that you're actually interested in what they are bringing to you. They
yeah,
want to feel that you want to do something with them.
yeah.
And the sub-personalities are reacting the same way. It's not enough for them just to be, okay. They
No.
they actually want to your relational ping pong. They want to tell a story. They want to be gotten. They want to be felt. They want to be like embraced
Yeah,
and understood and related to, and it's not enough just to be a witness with them.
no. No, I totally agree, and this is also my experience of this type of work. That and I would also say that I find it very difficult to work with these types of deeper traumatic layers alone. Sitting on my couch and just witnessing and going in. There's simply not enough energies, and I cannot see my own blinders. I cannot see my own repressions. So to have an experienced guide or an experienced person to sit and hold the space, and also um, be loyal to the small voices, because the exiles is very subtle. They very often they don't make a big fuss because they're so used to be repressed and ignored. And if you really have someone to hold in the space and helping um, gently and empathically make room for the repressed part. I think this is so important. I think we have to be two at least
Mm.
to work with these type of repressed parts.
Yes. It needs someone there to be authentic. And
Yeah.
that is also the challenge. Who is the subject? From what standpoint is a person able to relate to something that used to be overwhelming, unbearable,
Mm,
and and also in relation, uh, to what degree are we able to be deeply authentic, and maybe a protective part, or a part of the personality with a that has a project of sometimes, or the will is blending in the relation. So this is the really big question in all healing work.
mm,
Who is able to do the healing?
mm,
And in my experience, in some words you could call it the self, or
mm,
the true subject,
mm.
the one inside of the of us who's able to relate.
Exactly.
And so it needs a high degree of clarity.
Mm,
And if it is there in a relationship, it's a beautiful container for healing, and healing will find a way through that connection for sure. And
yeah.